Hey, where you at, RTHD audience? How's everybody doing out there? Happy Friday to each and every one of you. Today is Friday, June 12th, 2020. It is a beautiful day out there. This is Road to Happy Destiny, RTHD, with Coach Bear, Coach Glenn the Bear. And today is Season 4, Episode 14 of this fine program that's been going on for 74 straight days, 74 straight episodes. Let's get this party started as we're heading into a weekend with the long version of the Serenity Prayer, which I shall read at this time. Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Tell you what, I think we have on the schedule just the short version of the Serenity Prayer. So there we go. There you have it. All right, let's get started right away with today's tool, or T squared, as I like to say, coming to you from Casa 15 Hundo in Metairie, Louisiana. Today's tool, we're going to jump back with the steps in a 12-step program. Remember, we're using the guidelines of the AA program. And today we have Step 5 and Step 6 as our tools that I have in my toolkit, my toolbox. And hopefully you find some use in them as well. So let's grab our handy-dandy Into Action notebook, a utensil used for writing purposes, and let's open up to a brand spanking new page so we can dive into action. Yeah, you right. You heard me. We riding? Well, I'm with you, homie. All right, let's get set up for today's Into Action. Our two categories are Category 1, Column 1, Gratitude. What are you grateful for today? Category 2, Column 2, Step 5, and Step 6. Now, if you are familiar with 12-step programs and you have been, I guess, around Step 5 and or Step 6, go ahead and jot down maybe what you've done with those steps in the past. If you have never been exposed to a 12-step program, have no idea what Step 5, Step 6 is, well, why don't you just take some notes for today? Anything that strikes you as maybe possibly something you may want to put in your toolbox, in your toolkit. All right, so here we go. Gratitude. What am I grateful for? And why don't you jot down what you are grateful for today? So the past couple days, I've been doing some rearranging of things in my house, and I've been going through a lot of older pictures and some recent pictures of me and my two children, Olivia Elizabeth and Cyril Glennon Quattro the fourth. And so Liv and O, as I affectionately call them. And so by putting these pictures up and rearranging some things, it just made me realize how grateful I am for my two children, how much of a blessing and joy they have been brought to my life and been in my life. Liv Mel for 22 years, Little Peanuts Owens for 19 years. And I'm so grateful for these two. I'm grateful for them each and every day, but sometimes I feel like I just want to verbalize it. And so that is what I am grateful for today. That is my gratitude today for Liv and O. Obviously, I'm excited about a weekend coming up, as many people are. So, I'm grateful for that as well. All right, now, we're not going to review steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to just dive right in, if you will, with Step 5 and Step 6. Remember, this is from the 12-step program known as AA, and I'm going to read them to you. Step 5, then Step 6, and then I'm going to go back to Step 5. Okay, so here we go. Step 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. All right? So, Keep that in mind and maybe jot down a few notes. Step 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Now remember, before I go into these, if you're uncomfortable with God, insert whatever you need to insert there. Higher power, supreme being, something greater than yourself, whatever works for you. I'm going to use God because that's what works for me. Okay? So let's go to step 5. I'm going to reread it, and then I'm going to break it down how I can use it as a tool for me, and maybe might give you an idea for how to use it as a tool for you. So step 5, admitted to God, ourselves, and another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. All right. So for me, the biggest thing in the whole step is admitting, right? Admitting. That is the first thing that jumps out at me that I have to admit, okay? Not just think about it in here or feel it in here. I've got to admit it and get it out, all right? The next thing that jumps out at me is, who am I admitting this to? Well, I'm admitting this to God, okay? For those that don't believe in God, to whatever works for you, okay? So that's important, but I'm also admitting to myself, right? I got to look in the mirror. I got to admit it to myself. I can't live in denial anymore, okay? I've got to admit it to myself. And then finally, this is the biggest part, and the part that a lot of people in step 5 tend to kind of leave out, and that is admitting to another human being. I've got to tell someone else. I've got to tell someone else, and I've got to get it out, okay? I can get it out to God in prayer. I can get it out to myself in my head. But when I tell another human being, I'm getting it out of me and to someone else. So admitting, okay, and who am I admitting it to? God, myself, another, okay? And then finally, the last thing that I want to bring up about this is wrongs, right? I'm not just talking about things that are bothering me or things like that. Wrongs that I have done, whether they're from a long time ago, not that long ago, recent, okay? But these are wrongs that I have to admit, okay? So that's step 5, all right? And let's go to step 6 because I'm running short on time. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, okay? So here's what jumps out at me and that I use for my tool in step 6, and possibly you can use as well. Entirely ready, or just ready, okay? Ready for some help, all right? I'm ready to do what I have to do to expose these things that I need to expose. God, myself, another, okay? And I'm ready, right, to have something greater than myself remove, okay? Remove these things that have been inside of me, right? So I can get them out. So I'm ready for me, it's God. For you, if God's not it, then whatever it is for you, okay, to have whatever it is for you, remove, okay, because I can only carry it for so long. I got to get rid of it. I can't carry it forever. Somebody said something this morning, how long ago or how long have you been carrying that problem? 25 years. Well, don't you think it's time to let it go? So, I got to let it go, all right? And then defects of character. That's huge because through the process of step 5, I'm admitting all my defects of character, all the things that I want to fix, that I want to I want to get out, and I want to work on. And by getting all this out, I can work on these things. Okay? So again, step 6, let me read it real quick one more time. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Those are steps 5 and 6 that I use for my toolbox, my toolkit. They're from the AA program. That is today's T squared. All right. Hopefully you got something out of it. Have a beautiful start to your weekend. Have a great day. Love you all. Peace.